In the bittingly funny, breathlessly addictive, and deliciously unhinged psychological thriller Dear Debbie, New York Times best-selling powerhouse Freida McFadden, the housemaid, the teacher, hits a spectacular dark comedy stride. The narrative centers on Debbie Mullen, an unassuming suburban stay-at-home mother in her early 40s who moonlights as a beloved relationship advice columnist for a New England paper. McFadden masterfully utilizes a genius-snapped meets revenge fantasy framework. While her readers view her as a sympathetic, practical neighbor, Debbie is secretly a closeted former MIT prodigy with a staggering 178 IQ. When her carefully structured life simultaneously implodes, losing her freelance writing job, navigating the bizarrely secretive behavior of her two teenage daughters, and tracking her husband's suspicious movements via an advanced surveillance app she coded herself, Debbie decides she is completely done taking the high road. The prose is vintage McFadden, loaded with her signature short chapters, lightning-fast pacing, and a newfound layer of brilliantly wicked dark humor. As Debbie shifts from giving polite advice to executing highly calculated, borderline psychotic acts of petty and lethal payback against the obnoxious neighbors, deceitful bosses, and toxic men clogging her community, the narrative explores themes of maternal burnout, institutional erasure of women, and the dangerous potential of a brilliant mind pushed to its absolute limit. McFadden expertly weaponizes the unreliable housewife and good-for-her tropes, keeping readers glued to the page with a frantic maze of custom tracking apps, hidden affairs, and deeply buried personal traumas. Far from a straightforward procedural, the book unfolds like a relentless high-octane game of tactical chess where the traditional victim actively chooses violence. The audiobook format is an absolute tour de force, leveraging a multi-POV narrative that pairs perfectly with McFadden's rapid-fire cliffhangers. Listeners will be thoroughly entertained by the stark, hilarious contrast between Debbie's sweet, professional column drafts and the dark, calculating inner monologue of a woman who has traded her typewriter for a metaphorical shovel. It is a story about the absolute chaos that ensues when a polite woman finally chooses to weaponize her intellect against everyone who ever underestimated her. By the time the final jaw-dropping sequence of signature McFadden twists drops to completely recontextualize the entire neighborhood puzzle, you will realize that Dear Debbie is a definitive triumph of contemporary domestic suspense, a shimmering, razor-sharp map of absolute feminine retribution.